We're laughing because we're talking backstage. So now, are you going to be good for Friday and everything? I haven't seen any emails come from you or anything. Were you messaging me on email or was it
No,
through?
no, it was more of a vital community comment.
Oh
I was
yeah.
I private messaging through X. It was
Oh
just
okay. I think I saw something.
yeah, it's
Uh,
about a band out of that was discovered a recording from 1968.
oh okay.
A band called the Glass Cage. Anyways, there was 5 records. What do they call it? Where they make only 5 for a master album or the
Yeah
master they
yeah
can
yeah
use on
yeah
vinyl.
yeah.
Anyways, one was found in a rummage sale kind of
So
thing. So,
five
anyways,
lacquer. I think they're lacquers. Is they build them off the lacquers of mothers,
yeah.
of fathers.
So
When they make
apparently the
these
band
records.
thought they were lost forever, and
Yeah.
they were called the Glass Cage and Nanaimo, and they're damn good. Anyways, these guys found it like 10 years ago. Anyways, brought it back to reality. It's
Yeah.
now, of course, Supreme Echo is producing into an album,
Oh yeah, Supreme
and
Echo Records. Yeah.
I listened to it. I was like, it's all over Facebook and social media. They're talking. That's where they
Okay.
do their marketing, and it's really good. Anyways, I thought, hey, what a great band! It's in your backyard. The guys apparently, some of them are still alive. They're really excited about it. It's like
Wow.
there's some
Yeah.
people you could knock on your door as soon as you get a copy of the album and say, hey,
Yeah.
come on the show.
Yeah. Holy smokes, Supreme Echo. That's the kid down in Victoria, right?
Yeah,
Supreme
Jason
Echo.
Flower. Yeah,
Jason Flowers. Yeah, he's a nice guy. I like Jason.
yeah.
He's a lefty, but we love him anyway. All right, and any lefties that happen to stumble upon our program, I had to block another one today. They come up
Uh-oh.
with this. They come up with the worst stuff. It's all tired. They got this thing where they think Trump's a pedo, and they got him with Epstein. It's just this is what they've got now, Blake. It's
Yeah.
absolutely, but that they got nothing. They are bound to be disappointed with all that. But there's a lot of
Unfortunately, their propaganda, they keep listening to the same Occupy Democrats messaging, all these groups that
yeah.
are out there saying the same thing and have been regurgitating false stories and
Yeah.
thinking it's true. Like, it's just insane.
There is so much going on. I mean, it's busy. I
Yeah.
think today's title I put down is "Hurry Up and Wait" because we got Davos going right now. Trump's Wunder team of
Yeah.
300 financier types are going in there, taken by force. There's a lot of game playing going on. Some people are going, "Oh, I can't attend Davos this year," and it's like some big World Economic cats. And then Trump's just announced he's not going to be able to make it to the G7. So the G7 is going to be the sixth. Beetle Lackers, no, not Beatles, just a local thing here, a band out of Nanaimo, apparently. Probably Psych, probably a Psych
It
rock
is
band.
high, heavy
Yeah,
organ based. It almost kind of reminds me of early Deep Purple, late
yeah.
60s Deep Purple. Yeah.
This is our good friend Salon is here. He's a musician. Make sure you follow him on the X platform, Blake. He's a patriot. He's out of Nashville, Tennessee, and he's a musician, Western kind of country style, and
Good.
and he's a patriot. That's the most important thing. So we love him. Also, bad news on my plans to become a daughter of the American Revolution because my mom didn't put my dad's name on the birth certificate. I'd have to go through the rigmarole of getting my mom enlisted first, and she's 86. I'm not going to do that to her. She's not in the best of health for it, so I'm not going to be doing that. And so I have to, although they loved all my research, they said it's like airtight. You got her all done. Um, anyway, so that's disappointing, but I saved myself a couple of bucks. Anyway, it's going to be redundant. Trump's coming in to take over the country anyway, and so we're going to have some fun today. There's some good humor here. This one I didn't even really want to get to right away, but since we just made mention of it, we might as well. So Trump up early on, as is his habit, on Truth Social, and he posts this. Trump posts an image. European leader sitting in front of his desk. And the map has Greenland, Canada, and Venezuela as part of the USA. There's the Euro leaders. And there's Trump. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you, we can do this. There's Venezuela. So on the map where they are. But US, what used to be Canada, Greenland, what used to be Greenland, beautiful America, stars and stripes forever, USA, USA. So, people didn't know, whether to take Trump seriously about all this Greenland talk when it first happened. But I'm here to tell you, I'm here to tell you, you better take it seriously because Trump's taking it seriously and it's going to happen. Greenland, Trump's got his eyes firmly set on it. 250 years, America. Happy birthday, July 4th. I think Trump wants to deliver Greenland to you, America, just like Cousin Eddie and delivered Clark's boss in Christmas Vacation with the little. I'd like to see him brought here with a big ribbon. Well, Trump's going to take his van out, the camper, after he cleans the shitter out, and he's going to deliver it with a big bow for the American people. America's so divided right now. It's just crazy. With the leftists are making a lot of noise, whether it's disproportionate. I really don't think it is. I think the race is tight for the heart and future of America still, even with Trumpy Bear at the reins. And I love him so much. This president is going to go down in history as one of the greatest of all time. But I still fear the Dems coming in with their impeachment thing and all the nonsense comes in if they win. Hopefully they won't. Now, one more before I turn over to Blake for these two comments and this whole Greenland thing. But there was another one that came in through the pike. Hang on. Okay, this one I don't want. There's so many. I got to cancel that one. It only works with the last. Okay, here it is. Okay, holy smokes. Put a man on the moon. Okay, Babylon B weighing in on Trump and Greenland. Trump disguises himself as a Muslim migrant, so Europe will let him invade Greenland. I better. That's funny. All right, so here we got the president. He's posting pictures in the early morning, and he did another one with him and JD and little Marco, sticking the American flag on Greenland. America and the Europeans are losing their collective minds over this. Canada's losing its collective leftist mind. It's a beautiful thing to see. They're so impotent. They lack anything to do it. If Trump wants it, he wants to do it. It's the most powerful military in the world. Nothing could stop what is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing can stop what is going to happen. That's an old Q phrase, by the way. Nothing can stop what is going to happen. Blake, your thoughts on Trump taking Canada, Trump taking Greenland. Greenland going to fall to America in 2026, or do we have to wait a couple of years for this to happen?
I think. Well, I don't. Trump's not going to take it by force, and he's not. That's not his style.
No, it hasn't been.
No, he's going to buy it. There's a price tag, and he'll find it, and he'll get it. And Europe set the tone when a bunch of their leaders were saying it's up to Greenland, and Greenland's going to have to decide what they want to do. And then somewhere like backtracking, going, well, that's only 30,000, so he only has to buy enough of their support. And why not? I mean, if you could sell and get a chunk of change in your pocket, and then you get freedom with it and total access to the U.S. market,
it's beautiful,
unhindered.
Why
wouldn't you? Like, what if it's $500,000? What if it's $1 million each? Whatever the cost, you're
$2 million each. Who cares? It's money.
You're going to get it. And now the Europeans are freaking out because they actually admitted they said the course, it's up to Greenlanders to decide what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Now, some people could argue the same thing for Newfoundland and Canada, right? Because Newfoundland was its own independent country / colony up until 1948. And they were essentially annexed as part of Canada. It was negotiated, if you want to talk about this rhetoric, like, let's face it, the Danes have claims on it, and they're old colonial claims. And again, this falls under the Monroe Doctrine. America's like, no, what's in our backyard's in our backyard. They have had this issue since their foundation, that these European powers have been trying to erode the United States ever since they became the rogue, peasantry that rose up against the European elites, the kings, the queens, the nobles. and they carved their own path forward. We're no longer going to be colonies. Matter of fact, they probably would have still remained colonies had the crown didn't treat them as they typically do, as hewers of wood, drawers of water, and taxation without representation.
Yeah.
That's what pissed everybody off. It's like, you want to turn us into slaves, and they realized that. And essentially, that's kind of, they fought back, they broke free, but America has since expanded. It's expanded its tribe. They've gone from being 13 colonies to buying up land. They bought the Louisiana Purchase. We talked about this last show. They bought Florida. They've bought Alaska.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't buy Hawaii, but they got Hawaii essentially by default because Hawaii went broke. I mean, they were the
economic force got Hawaii under wraps.
When we talk about the globalist central banking cartel, there was a cartel back in the 1800s who were the sugarcane cartels, right? And they were powerful. They were like the next robber barons that were out there, very similar to the people who created the Federal Reserve Bank, which was your old rich industrialists out of the United States, who formed that monstrosity that basically privatized the United States' monetary system. So anyways, here we are, 2026. And when you actually look back at time is not that long, right? If you were to roll back the clock, I was just thinking about this the other day. I was going, I was thinking about the, Tombstone, right? Because I've been to Tombstone. I'm thinking, the gunfight at the OK Corral seems like it was so long ago. It was in 1881. And I'm like, I was born in 1969. Okay. The OK Corral fight it happened less than 100 years before I was born. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 80 years or, less than 80 years prior. And you think about, people think everything's black and white. It must have been ancient. No, black and white. I got photos of me black and white in the 1970s. And I got family photos of my brothers and all that stuff from the 50s, 60s, all black and white. Some people had color, but there was Kodachrome came out and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, time.
Well, it was mostly black and white in the early 60s for sure.
It's like time is, it's like a grain of sand. It's not very big.
Polaroid, that's when Polaroid changed everything with the Instamatic, and the flipping with the little thing, and it was color. Polaroid color was the big story. That's when everybody went color with Polaroids.
So you think of the last 200 years, especially, maybe not so much the 250, because the 250 in the United States, it was the founding. Then they had to fight an 8-year war to break freedom. It was a ruthless, brutal war, which the European powers all got involved in some shape or form. And
more trouble in 1812.
Yeah, well, then the rise of Napoleon, right? That helped kind of take the eye from England's eye off of the United States and focus more on dealing with Napoleon. And Europe was in turmoil at that time because of Napoleon. But I'm thinking throughout that time, of course, America benefited from that. That's where the Louisiana Purchase came out of. France was desperate for cash. They sold it. And if the announcement is that the experiment of globalism is dead, Danes are going to have to go at it themselves. I think the EU's in big trouble. It's like the next bastion to fall. It's got to reform
let's get context on that. Let's get context. Hold on.
But I just want to say it plays to Greenland.
Hold your thought. Hold your thought. You're all excited. You're so excitable. No, I just want to say Davos is happening right now. So that really gives context for what you're saying. They're going to have to deal, because maybe our audience, not everybody in the audience will be aware that Davos is underway and the president's actually heading over tomorrow. There's a lot going on with all of that. So I just wanted to throw that thought in for what you're saying in terms of the Danes are going to have to recognize the game is changing. And Carney's done out there. You've been watching Carney's speech. Okay, hold on. Let's see what we got here. This is 4D. I love 4D. Gunfight at the OK Corral, 1957 is my fave version. Plus a rousing theme song by Frankie Laine, who upstaged Kirk Douglas. Gunfight at OK Corral. I like my Darling Clementine with Henry Fonda. That is a great OK Corral film. Boy,
Yeah.
has that ever got a lot of moxie.
I love it.
And who forget Way of the Gun? I think it was Way of the Gun or Shadow of the Gun. Spectre of the Gun. It's Spectre of the Gun.
Yeah.
And that is Star Trek. That's when the Star Trek guys.
That's right.
William Shatner. It was called Spectre of the Gun. That's the episode. Oh my God, I remember.
And they went up against the Earps.
They were Billy, young Billy Clinton. Billy, don't die on the Billy. Young Chekhov as Billy Clinton. Anyway, Blake knows a lot about the OK Corral, by the way, folks. This is why we call ourselves Ghost Town Politics, because of this cat. I'm the ghost, but he's the he's our ghost town expert, and he's been to visit Tombstone many times. He's been all over these places. Boot Hill. Blake, are you going to get your ashes spread at Boot Hill?
No, you can't.
Crap.
No. Crap. Though I thought it would be kind of fun to be dumped in a pine box in some old ghost town cemetery somewhere.
Yeah. Better. You're going to need 5, Clint. Okay. So, it's funny. All right. So great stuff happening. Now, since 4D is here in honor of 4D, I got a great clip. Okay, here's the story. Okay, this AI, and Blake, I'm sure you're up on this. If you're not, it'll be my pleasure to bring it to you. Amelia, are you up on Amelia, Blake?
Yes, the AI created.
Okay, so
about British patriotism with purple hair.
Okay, yeah, that's our girl Amelia. We love her, but here's the deal. You know her origin story?
No.
She was invented by the Hull City Hull. When you find the girl of your dreams in the arms of some Scotsman from Hull. So Hull, UK, Hull, it's like near Yorkshire, I think, or something. Before you let me know. But anyway, there's Hull, okay? Or maybe it's near Newcastle. I don't know. It's in northern England, northeast England, I think. And the Hull City Council created this game with this character in it, a purple-haired goth girl named Amelia, who's everything wrong about England. She's a bigot. She's a racist. She's all that. Well, it took 5 minutes for the internet to realize that this girl is wonderful. And she represents everybody misses about old-timey England, and they want her all back. And so here we go. I'm going to share this with everybody. This is just too enjoyable. Now, I want to make sure that it's taken up the full screen for us. It deserves full screen. Blake, here's little Amelia, and she's taken on a life of her own, and she is appearing everywhere. Yeah. Okay, so here we're going to play it. There's a neat little song, but there's kind of the original game, Amelia, and there's here we go.
Time is come, and they said it would never come for you. Oh, my friends, you haven't changed. You're looking rough and living strange, and I know you got a taste for it too. They'll never forgive you, but they won't let you go. Oh, no. She'll never forgive you, but she won't let you go. The sun, you cast your pearls, but you're on the run. And all the lies you said, who did you say?
Oh, man. All right. So there's Amelia. I just love her. And, she is just going gangbusters. So, and they were doing AI things with her where she's telling, and she goes in and she makes a decree like, I like my chips. I like my fish and chips. And I love England and I like a pint.
She likes pork.
She is so great.
Likes bacon.
Is so great. Yeah, so I just love the fact that she was created to be this negative thing, and then the people took her and made her a symbol of British pride and independence, and and there's Saint George. Slay the dragon for Saint George, for England and Saint George. But anyway, we love it, and we love Amelia. So there's Amelia's all over, and she's now got her own X account. Some group of Ameliaites have created Amelia, the X account. So obviously, I had to follow her because there's all these AI adventures. And yes, 4D, she is great. So 4D, you got to get on the X platform. You will enjoy it. It's a breath of fresh air, and there's so much information that comes out there that you wouldn't get anywhere, not necessarily anywhere else. Now, okay, let's look at England a little bit. Something else happened in England too. I got another English story, and then I want to turn it to you. Yeah, I want to
canceled elections.
I want to turn it to you, Blake, right after we read this. Breaking. Judge rules the Reform UK can challenge government's attempt to cancel local elections. A bad day for dictator Starmer. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, Starmer, you're gone. Blake, take it away. Election, Starmer, Amelia, England. How are we doing? Are we okay, England? Are we okay, United Kingdom? Holy smokes.
Well, United Kingdom, it's not so united, but maybe this is the uniting force that will bring them back together again, because this is the kind of stuff that they need to stop. This is why Trump's team is in Davos right now to say it's over. That experiment is a failed experiment. A globalism, denationalization is what they're doing. What Canada embraced under our former Prime Minister Trudeau, which he announced that Canada became a post-national state. That is the model they were trying to pull out. So that across the United Kingdom, across the world, and the Western world specifically, it was the Western world that was facing this. And so it was self-implosion. That's the only way to describe it, because the guns were turned on ourselves and saying, well, we shouldn't be a nation anymore. We shouldn't be happy and prideful for what we are anymore, because you have no core identity. You now can be part of this new globalist system where you all are part of the worker bees for these large multinational corporations that are owned by the elites of Europe and the United States and other parts of the world, China, et cetera, et cetera. This is going to go. So the UK, the WF got their guy in there, the Keir Starmer. He's the guy who's pushing the anti-patriot movement in the United Kingdom. I mean, when people are arresting, there was a horrible video. I don't know if you saw him. He was an older man. He was kind of bloody. There was one where it's like 100-year-old war vet being carried off for holding a flag, a UK flag at a protest. They're arresting people left, right, and center for being English patriots. There's something wrong with that picture. And where the police stand by, yet they want to tell us that we're the baddies while they're allowing like Gazans to march in our streets for 2 years straight, taking over all of our cities, burning our flags, condemning us, all that kind of stuff, and their hate for Israel. And that's allowed to happen. You know why? Because there's demoralization. That's the whole point. The patriots are supposed to feel demoralized, and then they're going to seek the crisis fixers, who are now these far left technocrats from the WEF that are going to change everything. And that's what Keir Starmer represents. Unfortunately, I hope the Reform Party isn't just another uniparty party that's giving you lip service. I hope the people of the United Kingdom keep fire under their feet and make sure that they don't get away with becoming a soft government again and allowing this stuff to continue. Kind of like your endless Brexit votes that you've had. You voted to leave, you voted again to leave, and they still haven't 100% left yet. And you want to leave, you got to get rid of your WF leaders who are in power, which means you may have to have a revolution like the United Kingdom hasn't seen probably since the foundation of the Magna Carta. You will have to take a deepward inward look. And do you want to be a crown?
Oh, yeah. We got to remember Charles the First, right? We had a little regicide go down.
Yeah.
Charles lost his head. Oliver Cromwell Who could
Yes.
forget the rump parliament?
That's right.
England's done this before. And of course, 1388, we had the peasants' revolt over there. That was big. I went to Coggeshall, a little village in Essex called Coggeshall. What a lovely name. And they took the sheriff of Coggeshall and they took his head. Don't piss off English peasants. They're nice and polite until you push them too far. Then they go.
And they're patriotic. They love their country. So
they
let
love
them
their
fight.
country.
But they may have to come to a time now to realize that the elites, the nobles of old, are not there sharing power anymore. They have moved you aside and they've traded you in for a bucket of pucks. That's a Canadian term, to a world order that's being run out of Davos crowd, WF types, Club of Rome.
It's all the same gangsters, Blake.
It's the elites of the world, the nobles, the elites of Europe, allied to the central bankers, to these, and also it's not just central bankers; it is the old industrial rich families that are tied to it from the United States and Canada. The Rockefellers, etc., etc.
The Colonel.
What the old English and European nobles would call them, the new blood or the nouveau riche.
Nouveau riche.
Riche,
the nouveau riche.
out of North America. I kind of picture, it's kind of like the movie The Patriot, right? When he's asking his what's his name, the colonel or he's asked the horseman who was leading the horseman. He goes, when he asks him, so what would you like to fix this problem with the militia? And he goes, what about Ohio? I've heard it's nice. They're going to give them Ohio for taking out this militia. It's just, but
I've heard Ohio's nice this time.
I heard Ohio's nice. Yeah. Like I wouldn't mind Ohio. It's like, I'm thinking, well, this is exactly how these people think. They just carve up the world and they don't care about you. And yet the speeches they give, this is the thing is they make it sound like they're all about the people, but we have to realize we're under this decades long, at least, psychological warfare, psyops, we call them, where they don't need to bring in troops and beat you up anymore. Because that doesn't work.
You're right. Psyops is where I want to go next, Blake. Yeah. Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Are you sitting down?
In my trash can.
Ladies and gentlemen, I love Blake so much. Blake and I got a lot of great history together. Now, I've been over our colorful career together, Blake and I. Blake was my boss at one time. I just love him. He was the best boss I ever had. But once upon a time, we went to a great little bookstore, and he was so young. Blake could barely get a beard growing, which is a lie. I think he's one of those 13-year-olds that could grow a full beard. But anyway, so we're in this bookstore, and I pull out this kind of out of the magazine rack. I think they have Playboy or something. I go, look, Blake. I go, the fantasy, and it's got really a couple of hot chicks make it out. And Blake go, oh. I go, and I already had planned this because I went and grabbed them. And I go, here's the god awful reality. And then I go, the reality, and it was like a couple of butch nights. And Blake jumped back. He literally jumped back. I don't know if you even remember this story, but I did this thing with the two. I had the fantasy and the reality. Blake went, whoa. So anyway, so I have a history of doing this to Blake. That's my
They live glasses.
Holy smoke. I don't know what to say about this.
Oh, no, I saw it. Oh.
Cat turd, the perennial favorite cat turd. Tell me this is parody. Health ambassador from Wales. I think they spelled WHALES wrong. Is opening up dialogue about female wellness. Someone tell me this is a joke.
Is that
really?
wellness or whaleness?
It's like, I mean, my poor Welsh grandmother's rolling in her grave. Grok, is this a real health ambassador from Wales? Like, Catherine can't believe it. It is. But then this kid, Lane, goes, this is Canada's health minister. What the actual fuck? What is going on? They got to be having a laugh at our expense. They must have 5,000 applicants for this as a high profile position. Let's get the most overweight, preferably Muslim, so we can get our kebabs going and get these kids in here eating healthy. Health Youth Ambassador. I mean, it's just absolutely holy shit. I ate 5 people on the way to the interview. I hope you don't mind. All right, Blake. So yeah, I talk about they don't need to, this is all part of the reconstructing of reality.
It is.
What was it, 1984? They talk about the line, you see it all the time in meme form. The biggest lie, the biggest commandment of all was don't believe the evidence of your own eyes. So they put these grotesquely overweight, unhealthy individuals, and they place them as symbols of health and something to aspire to. But, are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh at our...
Unfortunately, there will be people that would, again, we call them the clapping seals or the NPC crowd, who just will train and clap to anything they're being told by these people. And this is the thing. This is the scary part. This is what's creepy about it. It's hilarious on the surface, terrifying behind it. The messaging, what it means, it's a demoralization. You look at Biden's health. What do they call it? They had the guy that was a tranny.
Take your time. Dylan Mulvaney?
No.
Oh, the little bald tranny. They have
the old guy with the blonde hair.
Hold on. You're talking about the Secretary of Health.
Yeah, Secretary of Health. Exactly.
Yes, Bobby's predecessor.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying, you'll notice
Bobby Kennedy's there's a trend. Predecessor.
The trend here was it's essentially. It comes right down to Nietzsche's point of transvaluation. These guys are actually promoting transvaluation. Essentially, they're nihilists. They hate humanity. That's the only way to describe it. Humanity is in the way, and so there's only one way to put it. These guys have to be really spiritually inspired by demonic forces to believe that this stuff's going to pass. But sadly, there's a huge mass of people who believe that this is normal. Like this is your reality inverted the other direction. Exactly. And saying, as you said, don't believe your own eyes. What do you mean don't believe my eyes? Okay, you're sticking a gun, or remember the protesters, the truckers. There was nobody being stomped on by horses there. We're not here to beat you up with 1,000 guys with clubs and guys with machine guns pointed at the trucker protesters. Tell us that is an insurrection. Meanwhile, Gazans and Canadian far left lunatics are organized by paid groups, just like they did in the US, what they're seeing now, paid groups to terrorize the streets for years, some of them.
Yeah. And they're
not getting arrested. Not one person got their bank account seized. Nobody declares an insurrection against the people burning Canadian flags. But that's the point. This is the point of the globalist world order, is that you're not to have any value in your country anymore. You're supposed to be demoralized. You're supposed to be weak, and they're there to save you and give you a nice job. Yeah. And if you don't want to work, guess what? We'll have this little thing.
The commie nanny stay to look after you, because you'll get your pittance and we'll control everything. Okay, I got another good one for you. You're going to like this one. You ever been to one of those police sales, Blake, when they confiscate something, you get to buy it on the cheap? You ever done that?
Yeah, I'm always on the BC British Columbia auction site, government site. They always have police seizures there. All
right, well, here's one right here. Okay, daycare fraudster has her luxury sports car seized. She paid cash for him. I go, how the hell do you know that you paid cash for your luxury fucking Ferrari? And look at this. Apparently this sweet little lady owns these vehicles. Let's make her big and let's see what she has to say. I'm excited. How do you know that she paid cash for him? Well, let's listen in.
Step back from me, please. This is my car. You can't just take it like that. I pay for it, cash.
I paid for it, cash.
Okay. Step back from me, please. This is my car. You can't just take it like that. I pay for it, cash.
That's exactly the problem, ma'am. It was paid with money from that fake daycare. We're seizing both
I
vehicles.
have business, you understand? Children, food, it's not fake.
Sew it up. Let's go.
Step back from me,
I've
please.
never
All right. So daycare is apparently fairly lucrative. Yeah, I'm going to buy myself a couple of sports cars in cash because, why the hell not? Blake, are you still there? Or are you frozen in time? I think my buddy's frozen up. Blake, get back in here. He can probably hear me, but I'll put the link out for him. Hang on, Blake. I'm coming to rescue you. Okay, hold on. He'll be back. Bigger and better than he ever was before. Holy so that last story freaked you out so much you just froze.
And you broke the internet with it.
Holy so they take cash for it. Like, can you imagine? You go buy a Ferrari with what is that? And I have business. Your business is daycare. The guy goes, exactly, lady. You're running a daycare, buying Lamborghinis and Ferraris with cash from daycare. Holy shit! Who knew daycare could be so lucrative? Anyway, huge fraud, right? And the fact, you got this idiot woman going, blah, blah, blah. And here's the deal. These are Muslim people. Sue made the point. She's like a Muslim woman. Would she, in Pakistan or wherever she came from, Somalia, would these dear ladies be allowed in their culture to even own a car? What are you doing on a car? That is men property. You women know. Uh-oh. Are you frozen again? Look at him. He's just, it's Blake, it's too much. These stories are so hot, so controversial. Blake is freezing up at any given moment. Unbelievable. Okay, we'll remove Blake from that one. Holy smokes. This is just crazy what we're experiencing here with our poor Blake. But anyway, that is quite the story. So daycare, and for being a daycare person and then having these sports cars is absolutely nuts. I can't believe it. Meanwhile, we got another story too we'll cover. I'm just going to bravely soldier on, even though Blake's sidelined a bit. We'll take this one on. Don Lemon and a bunch of leftists charged into a church in Minneapolis. Don Lemon, former CNN host, could face charges under Ku Klux Klan Act for the invasion of a Christian church in Minnesota. It was just horrible. He charges in there with the arrogance of it. And
we will pursue charges in this case. I see various crimes that have occurred. Exactly what they are, I'm not going to flag, but the FACE Act has been mentioned as one of the predicates there. In other cases, the Biden DOJ used the Klan Act conspiracy charges tacked on to the FACE Act in the case of protests outside abortion clinics to bring much longer sentences. So there are a number of tools available to us. Who funded this? What else? What other crimes may have occurred? Was there a use of the wires or the mails in preparing for this event? Did anyone cross state lines to do this? All of those are potential predicates for additional federal charges.
Armin, I've just pulled up the Klan Act because this is the first time that I've heard this mentioned. This is a act that was passed in 1871, correction there, to combat the Ku Klux Klan and protect African Americans' voting rights, especially the Enforcement Act, which is known as the Force Act. So here's some of the information on screen. Would you mind breaking down for us, because we have just read the FACE Act and how this is in
Okay, so anyway, he goes on with that, but it's absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's see if we can get him to hang in here for us. Blake, I'm hoping you can hang tight. Holy
I don't know what's going on. My internet's fine. I don't know why
it's freezing you up. It's Restream could be acting up or something.
Yeah, I think it may be because everything else is working. I
everything's
was watching you on X in live time while I was not on there to keep on top of things.
So I was just talking. So Don Lemon. So you got a gay man of color being charged with a Ku Klux Klan Act, violating 14th Amendment rights, which are basically to be unimpeded as an American citizen, to go about your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness uninfringed, basically is what the 14th Amendment's all about. And so here's Lamont with his, kind of entitlement and freedom of access to go into a church, which violates the FACE Act. People are allowed to go and assemble and have their religious practice without fear of a bunch of hoodlums taking it over. So leftist activists, and of course the Lemon's an idiot, so he's out there talking and shooting his mouth off. So he has put himself in legal jeopardy because he said we went in there purposely to agitate. Oh, okay. Well, now that's against the law. You can't do that. First of all, the fraud in Minnesota story, you didn't have a chance to address that, Blake, and also further to Minneapolis, further trouble going ahead with Don Lemon going in to cause trouble at the church. So, boy, we need to see some charges laid. Like, we know there's smoke and fire everywhere in these blue states, but we need to see justice come and some real arrests. I mean, people really want to see some substantial arrests for once, and some perp walks. Let's go all in. We got a very feckless, very impotent Republican Congress refusing to move on anything. Thune is under a lot of criticism. They want Trump's crying for the filibuster to end, get a lot of stuff done. But, there's a lot of compromised Republicans, two wings, same bird, big trouble. Is Trump, we going to win the midterms out of all this, Blake?
Well, I think so. I mean, the way I'm looking at things is as long as the election fraud story actually has action against it, like they're able to start making moves to clean up the voter rolls finally before the election, forcing states into compliance. And Tulsi Gabbard was speaking about it recently as well, and I thought it was bang on. So was Trump, of course. He's been saying it all along. That you need a physical ballot, you need ID, prove who you are, and that's who you vote, right? And that's simply one person, one vote, not one person and 500,000 votes in a printing machine. And that's
Nevada,
or Oregon. Oregon had 800,000 votes that were fake in a state that's like the size of British Columbia population.
No surprise it goes blue either, right? In all those states, boy, oh boy.
Well, and I think that's the terror that they're under, is that the globalists, this sort of dark order that's been organized things around the world, they are losing power rapidly, and there's a new alliance. Like when I heard Carney talking about it today, talking about that old order and the rules-based order, but there is a new rules-based order. It's being formed now. It's by people who want in honesty, transparency, integrity in their elections, belief in their countries, and people like what's happening for the midterms is exactly that. Americans are just saying, I mean, there isn't a single person when you watch an interview that's being done on the street to any American, doesn't matter what color skin they are, or whatever, they go up to them and they say, do you think people need to have ID to vote? And you know what? 9 times out of 10, at least, or better, people are being told, it's like, yeah, for sure they should have ID. I need ID to go to the liquor store. I need ID to go drive a car. I need ID to, pretty much do everything you need to do.
Everything. Yeah, exactly.
Just about everything. So it just shows it's a big scam. And I understand like the legal, the spin that they do, going back to the history of the foundations of the United States, because they didn't have ID then. You had paper. You had your mark. If you couldn't write, you'd leave your mark. But essentially, it was a trust-based society. But now, I mean, when you get so large, ID is the only way is part of that trust society can work, is you got to prove who you are when you show up to this. Is important. If I'm paying taxes into this system, this is my country, I'm born into it, I have a right to know that the people that are voting in these elections are citizens of my country as well. And that's how you do it. But is Trump going to win the midterms and MAGA going to keep going forward? As I said, I think it will all depend, and I'm 100% convinced it will be a blowout if if and only if they can
Yeah.
stop the corruption within in the voting system. I think Elon Musk knows that. He's tweeting it left, right, and center all the time. He's constantly doing it because he knows.
Voter ID, yeah.
And you know what? He knows that if the Dems get into power, they're going to target X. They're going to target. They're going to go after all.
They'll target any avenue of righteousness and justice and patriotism going, and you and me too. We'll be gone. Boom.
Well, we'll just disappear. But you know, it's funny because Carney said in his speech this morning that Canada believes in freedom and individual rights, and we have he described it as a raucous free speech. And I'm like, hold on, you just passed three bills that are going to strip people of those rights. Like, this is what I'm saying. These people, and I say these people, it's an organization worldwide that want to bring in this fascist new world order. It's masked as some kind of new system that everybody will be wards of the state, essentially, or they like to couch it in the language of Klaus Schwab, right? You'll own nothing and be happy. So you know what? Shut up. We'll give you some cash. Don't rebel, and you'll be happy. And you won't own anything because we'll rent everything to you, and you won't have to carry around anything if you have to move. But hey, we'll put you in a 300 square foot box, but all the dissidents will be rounded up. And I think Elon knows that, but even more so is those that believe in the idea that free speech also applies to everything, sciences, history, mathematics, whatever.
Everything.
Apply it to everything.
If it's bullshit, it'll die on the vine. If it's bullshit, it'll die on the vine. Don't worry about it. But the fact that they spend so much time combating people like us shows that they've got something to fear. And we're we're small potatoes.
But innovation comes from going through that grinder, right? I remember you telling me a story. It's like kind of a spiritual term to it, about your spirit. But in any idea, when you're making the samurai sword analogy, remember it gets folded like 1,000 times to make it just right. And that's the grinder ideas have to go through to be perfected, right? Because you're going to be wrong, and then finally you get it right because you've got all these voices tearing it apart.
They hammer the hell out of those things.
They're ripping the hood up. They're ripping all the parts out of the engine. They're taking a look at it, and that's why they can engineer better cars, better engines, et cetera, et cetera. But this is the idea of free speech. It creates a better society. It may be messy, but the people who don't like change in this kind of way are the people that stand in the way, and they don't want it because they want power because they know what's best for everybody. I mean, really, if you were to look at it, the fascist world empire is basically a giant Karen with a big stick, right, to hit you over the head when you don't obey. And the rest of us are all free, saying, no, we have a right to choose what we want to do. We want a right to what we're going to inject into our bodies. And if we're going to do that, that's on our choice. You can't enforce that or, use coercion to get me to do things by a gun to my head. But that's the point. So we'll see what forces win in the midterms. It is essentially going to be MAGA on trial. And essentially, if they win, it will be a vast endorsement. But I can't see how they'd lose. All these jobs, trillions of dollars rolling in investment into the United States, building factories, going that way. How do you reverse that cycle now when the world is admitting, and the WF is being told today and over the next couple of days, that their era is over? It's a failed experiment. It doesn't work.
Okay, hold on. Now, I hate to do this to you twice in one show, but I got to do it. There's just no way I can resist. Okay. Star Trek, the fantasy and the reality. Oh my God. By the way, Jerry Ryan, she shares a birthday with me. She is exactly 10 years to the day younger than I am. She's 1967 she's born. But I mean, this is ridiculous, right? You got the beautiful little Borg hottie patootie walking around like, oh, okay, that's enjoyable. And then you got, what the hell, don't I work with this?
That's Pat. It's Pat. Is that Pat?
It's
Remember Pat?
It's just not a great look. And so it's kind of funny that way. When you look at just what they're doing, kind of thing. It's like Star Wars did the same kind of thing. Like I always kind of marveled at Star Wars. Yeah, young Luke Skywalker, handsome kid, running around. He's a raving lunatic, whatever the actor is, that idiot. But I don't even. What's his name? Who's the kid? What?
Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Yeah. Wow. He's a superstar. Anyway, so that idiot. But anyway, but he's a good-looking kid, right? He's running around doing. He got in an accident, so they had to do anyway. But I digress. But the point is, I still remember watching the Star Wars, the second one, the good one, The Empire Strikes Back. It's very good. The Force came out, little Yoda, happy meow. But anyway, and then they got Yoda in there. But I'm watching these guys in the fighter planes, the X-fighters. The good guys are flying around the X-wings.
Yep, which are like F-35s.
They had one fat guy. They had one heavy set guy. I'm going, what the hell? Why is this guy? It was like Lucas searched in central casting. I need an overweight, out of shape, nondescript nerd to come in and
who plays Dungeons and Dragons every night. Yeah,
to pilot one of these things. It's just so weird. I still remember him doing with what's her name, the big actress there. She's good. The one that was in she was in the thing with the face and the mask and the
Cher.
What? No, not that. Holy fuck. V for Vendetta. Natalie Portman's in there.
Yeah,
I
that's
still
right.
remember there's a line where they have a woman come up to her like her handmaid and it goes, "Oh yes, my princess." But the line is so horrible, it's like watching a high school play. I'm sure Lucas sat there with this actor saying, "I need you to deliver this line like you've never acted a day in your life and you're bad at it when you do try it. They are coming now, your princess." It was just so horribly delivered. I said, "What the Lucas, are you aware of what you're putting together?" And I realized he is. He wanted it to come across that way. Put the fat guy in the X-fighter, the X-wing. Put the bad actress reading the line like she's in a high school play, a bad high school play. And it was all intentional. But I'd show that because everybody's talking about the new Star Trek, the Starfleet Academy. I watched the Critical Drinkers review and I watched Nerdrotic. They had think about this, Paramount Pictures Productions.
Yeah.
They went on YouTube to decide we're going to do a live stream and we'll debut it, live stream it. They had 1,600 people watching, 1,600. Nerdrotic for 1,300 people watching.
Yeah.
Nerdrotic, for his part, he went and did a counter stream at the same time with a little doll of Spock and it's sitting in a chair and it got 3,500 views. Concurrent view. He like tripled what they were able to do at Paramount. One guy in his basement outperform him. Absolutely hilarious.
And you saw that apparently the CEO, who's been the problem with all the Star Wars woke Star Wars, she got canned. She got let go.
I don't know if she got let go. I think she's my work here is done.
You've destroyed the company.
Destroyed the franchise. Yeah. And so she stepped down. Yeah. Kathleen, no, I want to say Kathleen Turner. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Blake. But this new captain, they got Holly Hunter, and she's hanging out in the captain's chair like she's suffering some sort of psychic trauma.
I know.
And the whole thing, it's just a mess.
Well, I was watching the other one before where they're doing parallel universe type things or alternate universes now. That's the problem. And they've got Christopher Pike, right? Knowing his future, all this kind of stuff. But that's what they rolled out, the woke crowd, it's like Star Trek, San Francisco. Why don't they just call it that? San Francisco's universe of Star Trek. But we know that. I think that's the problem, is that they think, in the 1960s, San Francisco and Berkeley was a different place. 50 years later, that's what it looks like. So they're now trying to say, well, this is what San Francisco would look like today, which would have caused it look like then. And I'm
everybody's
like,
having too many ding dongs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, it's just hilarious. I mean, kind of the stuff that, passes for entertainment. Anyway, the thing apparently is dying on the vine. The 4th episode, it was funny. Somebody said how it started, how it's going. And it was like, one of these leftist rags went, oh, it's off to a powerful start. Everybody's loving this. And then 4 days later, it's like the internet has spoken. It's kind of the end of this Star Trek. The dream is over. Apparently, it has been renewed for a 2nd season. But, they've got everything. So it's everything that's wrong. Hollywood just doubles down. It continues its endless flight into self-ownership and parody and destruction. Go woke, go broke. Nobody watches this stuff. I don't know if do you watch? Are you a fan of the original or any?
Oh yeah, I watch Star Trek all the time. I mean, it was like I probably could pronounce a number of the episodes by heart because I've seen them so many times. Right?
Who mourns for Adonis?
I was thinking, it's like Gilligan's Island, right? It would just play over and over and over again.
A mock time. He has no brain, Jim.
Yeah. Or my favorite is when Spock having to describe that he's basically a salmon having to return to spawn.
Oh, that was a mock time. That's when he had Tom Farr. He got all horny.
Here he goes. Swim upstream.
Spock got horny.
Salmon. I'm gonna go back and spawn.
He had to fly back home. Holy smokes. Yeah, I mean, I loved all those things, the classic track. As a matter of fact, full disclosure, just above my head here, I got a little case full. I got the Enterprise, I got a phaser, I got 2 little Funkos, I got a little poster. I just loved the classic, the original Trek. And I did watch I saw pretty much all the episodes of The Next Generation. I like Star Trek Voyager, Deep Space Nine. And I even watched the Enterprise for a bit because I had a friend of mine. She really loved it. And she goes, Rachel, you got to, okay, I'll watch it with you. Scott Bakula, who was very funny and very entertaining and very charming in Quantum Leap, which was kind of a fun show back at what was that 90s or 80s Quantum Leap? I'm dating myself. I think it was the 90s for Quantum Leap. But let me know, audience, when was the Quantum Leap series? What years did that run? Because I enjoyed that, and I like Scott Bakula. Is there no truth in beauty? That's a great one. That's the one. Don't go in there, Spock, without with the eye visor. Oh, Blake has gone blind, and he's locked up again. Hang on, let's get him back. I gotta remove him. He'll be back. Hang on, we're going to get him back. Oh my God. Is there no truth in beauty? That was with the ambassador, the Methuselah. I think it was Methuselah, wasn't that his name? And then they had the pretty lady. She was in there. Maria Muldaur. Oh, that's the singer. But it was Muldaur. She played Dr. Koenicki or something in The Next Generation. Anyway, it was Muldaur. And she was one because she was blind, so she could go with the horrific ugliness of the ambassador and survive it. But anyway, it was really good. And Spock had a second eyelid and he was able to protect himself. Okay. That's the one where McCoy and everybody sees people as young. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Sees everybody as young. I don't know. That was like Miri. Miri, when they all turned old, they had the disease. It was Kim Darby. Kim Darby was in that one. Holy smokes. I hope I get Blake back before we have to sign off here. We got a minute or two. I'm going to let it run a little bit until we get him back in. Give him a chance to get back in here. Ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate you coming by every day. Lots happening. Trump posting. I loved it. Early morning, picture of Canada absorbed by America. make it happen. Oh, please, Jesus, let us be American. Break and I want to be a little American so we could go to Tombstone. It won't cost us as much.
Well, I hopefully don't get erased again. Maybe they were trying to beam me up.
Holy smoke. What an episode.
We're
Blake,
getting our signal jammed. We're
Oh,
being
I don't want
attacked.
any jamming of the signals, man. Blake, I want to thank you as always for being here. You make the show great. You bring a lot of fire, a lot of heat, a lot of knowledge too to the discussion. Folks, Davos is going on. Trump, a 300 strong contingent of Americans going there. Trump's team, dream team. Unbelievable what we're seeing. We're living in amazing times. And Lord, my prayer is keep the president safe. I know they want to hurt this man. They want to take him. They've already tried. And Lord, please protect him. And we pray, God, in Jesus' name, that your will would be done on earth as it is in heaven. Wouldn't that be the greatest thing? Wouldn't that?
Amen.
I'd love to see the world run the way the Lord would want it run. That would be kind of cool. Wouldn't
It's
it?
coming.
Nice?
It's
Wouldn't
going
it be
to
nice?
happen. When
Yeah.
it happens.
It will happen eventually at any rate.
Yeah.
Blake, final word to you.
Yeah, I think Friday we're going to have a banger of a show, and hopefully Restream gets their problems fixed up. But I think with this week in Davos, we'll have a good roundup of what everything was said. We'll have a good idea. We can cover Greenland a little more in detail. Hopefully
Yes.
something's come up out of this, on that side of it, what's happening in the world, and hopefully, Canada stops putting itself into the crosshairs. They seem to be not caring about how the
Let's
American
expand
people
on
think.
that just a little bit, because I think you've had your finger on that little number for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want Bolivar. I want Carney. I keep fucking up, Canada. Go as commie as you possibly can, please.
Yeah.
Go as totalitarian, dictatorial, all-out commie bastard fascist as you can, because Trump's just sitting there with his foot tapping. Tap, 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 tap.
Yep.
You
Just waiting.
Yeah, just let me at him.
I still think Carney is. I think he's playing both sides. I think he's the guy who's got his chips both on red and black. I think because what's unique is what's happened this past week. Of course, Carney got blasted with China, but what did Trump say? Yeah, he should be doing that for his country, making deals. And actually, if you look at the trade deal he did with China, it was actually pretty minuscule financially. It's like $7 billion. It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
When America does something like $650 billion a year in trade with, or something massive like that with China, Canada doesn't even come close. But the point is that right after all of that, and Cat Turd, everybody's posting he's a communist, he's this, that. He's not a communist. I think he's a globalist. He's self-interested and financially padding his pockets. All his interests financially, for the most part, are in the United States. But most importantly, did anyone catch the news right after that? During all of that, Trump asked Carney to be on his peace board for the Middle East for Gaza, and Carney accepted. And we have to keep remembering what's really happening in the world. We have to keep an eye on what's going on, because I think even Promethean Action missed that point. And I'm just like, because you could say, well, Trump's just playing 4D chess. He's doing the keep your friends close, but your enemies even closer. Yeah. But I don't know. But Trump's guy endorsed him. He came out and said, I would want that guy to run the Canada, not the conservative, because, he didn't like the conservative. I'd rather deal with the liberal. That was exactly his words. Yet the Canadian media ignores that. They say Poilievre is the MAGA guy. Well, Poilievre is probably more MAGA in the sense of nationalism than Carney is, but I think they're both sellouts. I mean, they're both standing there together now saying the uniparty message about Greenland, right? So I'm just saying, but Carney, he's an enigma right now, trying to put your finger on him. And that's like Trump, right? You kind of, what's this guy doing? Like, 1 minute, it sounds like he's doing the right minute, and then the other side, he's not. But if you're in a controlled demolition, you're doing the right thing then, because he's a manager.
He's certainly
he's a liquefier.
Yeah,
you liquefy a company. That's what you do. You start taking it down. You have your assets at the end. You devalue it. That way you can sweep the assets over, because he's an asset manager. And then you fire sale him out. It's like so it makes sense. His big speech today was more to the middle powers, but we'll find out on Friday. where this is all going to land, because I think we're going to see a much, I think, clear landscape being laid out for the future by Trump and his administration, because now he's gets to talk to the whole world. The fact that he's skipping the G7, I think that's a message about Greenland
and how irrelevant the G7 is without Trump.
Yeah, and I did want to make one point about Greenland, because we were going to come back to it, but it's just one thing. I think there's a double angle here that Trump can work on. One, he actually is forcing NATO, being Europe, to put some resources into Greenland to defend it, because essentially America's fed up with paying for everything. Does it make sense that America takes over Greenland for security and part of the Monroe Doctrine? Absolutely. But if you're trying to get NATO to cough up bucks, and these are your so-called partners in the world, defense partners, if you're not going to protect Greenland, then we are. I mean, that's what he's basically saying, but we're not going to let you do it anymore. It's just become ours. If we're going to pay for it all, then it becomes ours. If you're not going to pay for it, then you need to put some money in there, or else we're going to do it.
I don't want
this idea of the whole world.
Yeah. I don't want NATO. I don't want NATO looking after Greenland. Fuck NATO. Get rid of NATO. Get rid of all of that. USA, all the way for me.
Yeah.
I want that American flag all over that frickin' piece of real estate. I want it American, and I want the same thing here in what used to be called Canada. I want that to be U.S. territory as well.
I think they looked at the United States, and I'm talking about Europe. They looked at the United States and London, the Club of Rome. They use the United States as the bulldog on the chain, right? So that's essentially finished, and Trump's saying it's done, and that's Promethean Actions messaging too. We're not going to be that bulldog anymore. We're going to take control.
I look forward to every episode that Promethean Action does. Do you know, I looked at them. They've been around for 17 years on YouTube.
Yeah.
Sue and I were over there looking at them, and they have videos from 17 years ago. That shows you how long YouTube, they've been on YouTube since YouTube got around.
Yeah.
But it's only this last year somebody put the switch on, the tap on those kids, and they are going viral, and their viewership and their numbers, their account subscribers have just, like watching one of those sticker tapers do go like that. Unbelievable. And well,
they nailed it. They nailed it about Carney, right? Because that's what we said. Said, look at Carney's body language, and they came out with their show saying the same thing.
Well, that was you. That's full credit to you on that. I didn't see it. That's you.
That was a message of defeat that he gave. That was
and they echoed what you were saying. Yeah.
And that's what he's saying today. Carney's speech, he's trying to be uplifting while also laying out the reality that there is a new world order.
The dream is over for all of you.
And that world order, now it's the power, the big three, right? Or really the big two, China and America.
Yeah. And Putin came out. There's an interview with Putin in Russian. Beautiful thing. Putin's riding in the back of a limo, and the guy's there talking to him. And Putin goes, Trump's the master. He goes, he's going to go there, and he's going to get all those little dogs, European dogs, to sit there wagging their tails while the master tells them how it's going to go. And he says, you watch, that's what's going to happen. And, and he's absolutely right.
Nothing would make Putin more happy than if Europe tried to create a Western front with the United States, a war over Greenland. But I just said, never going to happen.
No, it's not going to
happen. Not going to happen. No. Anybody who's propagating that is full of crap.
Yeah. Europe's not in a position to take on America. No. Nobody's in a position. Not even China is in a position to take on America. So.
Well, even the royalty of remember, Denmark is still a monarchy. They may just take the cash and say, thank you very much. There's Greenland. Here are the keys.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what I think will happen.
And America's got the pockets to make it happen. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Also, and America, if you look at America, America has not outside of Manifest Destiny and the indigenous people who had conquest happen to them. But outside of that, the United States has not used military conquest to expand their borders. It's all by economic purchases, and they've done negotiations. Very rarely have they ever said war.
They do regime change with the CIA. They have had that history of that.
Well, they did take over. They did take over California and Southwest in a war with Mexico. What's really Spain, the Spanish-American War.
Davy Crockett, I just love him.
But they did invade and they did take over all of Mexico. They had Mexico City in their hands and everything. But what did they do? They left and gave them back their country and said, "No, we just wanted California. It's part of our manifest destiny."
I like the idea. American comedian years ago said this, or no, it was a Canadian stand-up comic, and he said, "Say what you will about the Americans, they're the only guy where you attack them." Then they defeat you in war, and then they help you rebuild your country.
That's right.
You know, like Japan, Germany are the examples.
Marshall Plan. Yeah,
Marshall
exactly.
Plan. Yeah, amazing.
Well, that came out of World War I. The reparations caused World War II, right? If you defeat somebody to the point you leave them impoverished and become a slave.
Yeah, that's a Versailles Treaty kind of rationale of Germany, because you bastards, like the Versailles Treaty was so restrictive. The argument goes that Germany said, "All right, we're going to."
Well, and France took over the Sarn Valley and basically used the slave labor of Germany's industrial base to pay back for reparations from World War I. And it was endless. They were never going to take that off.
Yeah, what a mess. What a mess World War I was.
So World War II, what had happened there? Americans said, no, you can't do that. You can't enslave a people. You got to make them wealthy, and you got to make them more like us, want to be free, being all that kind of stuff. But now, I don't know. It's just, it seems to
America's got to defeat those from within its own nation, like the fraud, the voting, all this criminality that needs to be reconciled and dealt with as soon as possible.
They need their people. They need their people to grow up. And I'm talking about those on the left. Smarten your asses up. Start paying attention to geopolitical forces, understanding your nation is being tug-of-warred, not from within by your own people, but it's being tug-of-warred by treasonous people that have been supported by foreign interests who don't want you to stay the United States. They want you as the divided states.
Coming out. Yeah, that info's coming out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank, as always, Blake, for being here, and you, our wonderful audience, for watching the show. Give us a thumbs up, and if you catch it later, I know we do get a few more views after the program. So, thank you, everybody, and we're going to be back Friday. We're going to find out what happened at Davos. Trump will be back home by then. We'll see how it goes. Thanks, Blake. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Watch out for Star Trek. Okay, I got it. There we go. Bye, everybody.